tell you something that is too good to be true and ask you to click on the link, right? It could be your friend already get tricked into doing something that they are unaware of. So what I'm trying to say is that when we look at information on Facebook, we do need to be a bit careful, and we should be a bit more selective as well.
Thank you. I believe we have one more question.
Yeah, this is for the daddy bloggers and the mama blogger first, and then it opens up. Where do you see it going from there? Do you intend to continue this blog up to your child is say 12 years, 13 years, and then do you intend to hand over the blog to the child? How do you see it going forward? And then opening up for Paul, where do you see this entire process, growing up on Facebook? Do you see any trends happening there? Anything to watch out for? Anything to look out for? Thanks.
Okay, for me, because now my child is in primary school, both of my boys are in primary school, so I foresee, I want them to participate more actively in the blog. So this year actually, perhaps maybe in the middle of the year, I'm thinking of actually letting them draft some posts on their own, because now even primary 1 you have to start to write composition in school. So I think perhaps it might help them in their schoolwork in future, who knows, but I think as to what I pointed out earlier is that through the process of perhaps drafting out a post, putting up photos, hopefully, I mean, family bonding is one, and also on the other hand, they would also learn what kind of information, like what the places they will be to, what kind of information to type out is appropriate.
Well, building on what Kevin has said, we're bloggers. So for our family, my blog, Universal Scribbles, I've actually put less pictures of the children, of course I write about reviews and experiences that I have done with my kids, but I also write a lot about topics like this, concerns of parents, some of the issues that parents are more concerned about, destinations that families can travel together. So I have shifted it more towards features that parents can read, more as a perspective. But I also share Kevin's ideology that eventually this is a blog that my children can start writing a post, because I think writing is a very good platform to also be able to express. And I think when my kids see me writing, they're very happy to see pictures of themselves on the blog. They're very proud of that, and they tell their friends about it. And I think eventually I would like them to also start sharing about their experiences with their friends and start jumping onto the blog, so it becomes more like a family thing. Hope that answers your questions.
So picking up on that, well, the first thing to say is sort of going back in time a little bit. Who remembers when they first got a camcorder and you'd be going out filming quite a lot of stuff, still thinking it's a camera, so holding sort of half a minute on one scene? And how many of you have actually gone back and looked at all those videos? Not a lot, I would argue. And having generated lots and lots of video content, people then move back to photography, and digital photography has kind of really helped explode in that sense. I suspect that there will be a trend, and it's kind of what you're just sort of picking up on, is yes, there'll still be the snippets of content, but it'll be a bit more selective as to what people are actually publishing. It is easy to publish stuff, absolutely, but as people go back and do review it and do look at what the good stuff is when you go to bed, it will be a case of, okay, well, maybe there was quite a lot of incidental rubbish there, and maybe we can be a little bit more focused. So I think that's kind of what we'll see is a sort of key trend just within sort of personal blogs. It is a bit more opinion, it's a bit more focused. Having said that, one of the sort of key technology trends that's coming through, which I think the youth will pick up as they get older, is firstly much more move to the visual web rather than the verbal web, so much more about pictures and video. And so it's interesting to think from a blog perspective, how do you bring that craft of actually telling a story rather than it just being snap, shoot, post and actually getting that there. But technology, one of the big shifts, and a number of businesses and brands are looking at this, is I suppose what I call passive blogging, which is technology that effectively collects data as to what you're doing and passively creates a timeline and almost gets a new digital data footprint for you. So an example will be a little app on your phone that when you are on a ski slope, it will take a number of photos, it will then map out how fast you're going, it will then create a whole sort of bit of infographics and a digital space as to what your ski run was. There are other things looking in terms of skateboarding. Obviously, many of you will be familiar with Nike Plus as a way of passively collecting the sort of things and activities you're doing and creating your own personal data trail. So I can see that particularly in the youth of buying or getting them for free, but apps that actually create a fair bit of information that actually is the platform to then tell stories on top of. And that's what I see in the next 5 years or so. Any more than that, I'm not even going to try to estimate, because then I'll have my own company in the future. Obviously.
More questions over there?
Paul, you said you had a certain amount of focus on the 16 to 20-year-old demographic, the so-called digital age or social media age. I'm just curious how your marketing, how your job is different for them. Obviously, it's not just redirecting ad dollars from print to Facebook. I'm just curious how you do your job different.
Yeah, it's changed a lot, I have to say, and for the better, to be fair, because whereas maybe 10 years ago you could still get away with producing a telly ad or something to put in a magazine and just sort of thinking, yeah, I think that ticks the boxes, and chucking it out there. To do stuff in the digital world, to do stuff in the real world is where kids hang out and actually spend time. I don't live in that world, not at all, so have to actually spend time understanding it a lot more and actually working with kids and it's a bit of an overused term, but co-creating thoughts and ideas. So an example for an Adidas thing we did in Singapore last year, launching a new football boot. Okay, it's a football boot. Through the Facebook community, said to the kids on the community, and the majority are in that sort of age bracket. Here's the boot. It's quite cool because it's got these 5 zones of different things, which means it's good for shooting, it's good for passing, whatever. We want to do something with it. What do you reckon? And actually, so then kids came up with their ideas. They said, what about this? What about that? And we actually filtered that down and actually made one of the ideas happen, which was an assault course down in Yang City. I don't know. Some of you may or may not have seen it. It was on Orchard Road back last August, I think. From a point of view of marketing, it's a massive step change because a brand like Adidas is used to planning at least a year in advance what they're doing. What we're saying is we're going to run something on Facebook for a few weeks. We have no idea what we're doing. All we know is we're going to do it somewhere on Orchard, and that's all we knew. But we'll actually listen to what people want. How do they want to, play with this boot, discover this boot, etc. And then we'll take that and we will make it happen. So it means we have to do things a lot more quickly, a lot more reactive, much more, just a hell of a lot more listening to what people genuinely want, which, to be fair, is long overdue in the world of advertising because there's a lot of stuff that advertisers chuck out at people without really understanding what they need. And what I'm happy to say is that sort of model with Adidas here is something that's quite interesting. That seems to be quite good to the point where they're taking it into other markets around the world as being a model to bring in people into the conversation, actually create ideas that are right for the way that youth live their lives.
We have time for one more question.
Hi, this question for the mommy and the daddy bloggers. I just want you to think a little bit, say 10 years fast forward when your kids are growing up and ready to get a job. Okay, go for the first interview with a resume, and the HR director is going to go, hey, let me look you up on Facebook. They know everything about your kid. How do you plan to handle that? another scenario, should your kid decide to go into politics or to become a public figure or become a celebrity who would crave privacy by then, how are you going to handle that? Because you're putting their entire history online right now.
Can I answer first? Again, thank you very much for the question. I did think about that. And the incident that I shared with you guys earlier, that was my first moment of pause. Hey mom, stop right there. Stop putting every one of my dirty little secrets up there, even though you think it's cute and non-issue to you. So that was my first pause, and so now whenever I have actually, like Chinese New Year, everyone was posting pictures of their kids. It's alright to put pictures of your child's achievements on Facebook, but it's I think we need to draw the line, and I have come to the conclusion that Facebook is my Facebook. I should be putting pictures of me with my child, but I should not be putting everything about my child. His life is his life, and my children will have their own time. So I have actually made a mental switch to tell myself I need to respect his privacy, because I think one of the audience has also mentioned that in their new generation, privacy is going to be a commodity that they are no longer going to have. And I think I'm going to start right now in respecting his privacy and not put so much of his details online. Kevin, you want to share?
This is a tough question to answer as well, because for my blog, what I usually blog about is activities that I do with my kids, where I bring them over the weekends, be it an indoor playground or a new park or a new shopping mall or kids-friendly restaurants. So that has always been, that is the angle of my blog has always been like that. So of course there are things that they do, things that sometimes they irritate me or they make me angry or anything like that. I don't post up on Facebook or my blog. So those, so to speak, those dirty laundry always just stays within our family. And to answer your question as to if next time he applies for a job and his boss asks him about this blog, if the boss does takes time to read through the entire blog, I think it's just nothing but good memories. And it's a diary that our family has compiled over the years. And that has always been what I put through to two of my elder boys, that this serves as sort of, last time people used to keep their diaries under lock and key, just that now lots are under public domains, and we just want to share whatever good memories that we have as a family with the public in general, but because we have relatives, in other parts of the world, and they do keep tabs on the growing up years along the way as well.
Thank you very much. Well, I guess all of us now will think carefully before we post anything. What may seem innocent may not be so innocent after all. Thank you for all your valuable insights. Do you have anything else to add? Last words? Yes.
Okay, I think I'd like to just share a few tips that you probably should be aware of. I think the first one is on education. I think not just our kids but our parents need to be educated on the online threats, on why they need to be a bit more careful with the things that they do online. I think parents need to understand Facebook a lot more. Okay, not just knowing, just uploading photos, but I think they need to understand the constant improvement that Facebook is having, and share that with the children. And thirdly, I think we all need to practice smart digital culture. If, for example, change your password, delete cookies after you do some online transactions, proactive on our mobile devices, and treat people the way you want them to treat you online, right? And lastly, I think we do need to consider, parents should consider having some using technology to prevent some of the things from happening. Like, for example, technology is able to protect the kids from going to undesirable websites, or technology is able to help them restrict their kids to go online at the time where maybe when the parents are at work and things like that. Okay, so I think these are the 4 points that I have to share. Let's take away.
Thank you very much. I think we've all learned quite a lot, and we'll think carefully before posting anything. It's a wrap. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you very much. And yeah, that's it. It's over.